not look for, but to stimulate. In other words, all
Okay.
human beings are complete and all encompassing, a
Okay.
oneness of the universe. You see, no separation from the ultimate reality of life, but a part of that reality. In other words, two but not two. One thing, although we are conscious human entities, I think because a lot of times we think in terms of polarization, we think in terms of ourselves and something outside of us. In other words, two. You see, Buddhism says that life is all encompassing. We are part of life. We exist. So what we do is we stimulate or strengthen aspects of our life that may be, say, not as strong as they could be. A bodybuilder uses dead weights to develop his arms, to develop his shoulders, his legs.
So you're stimulating what you have defined as the positive aspects of life.
So
correct?
once again, a polarization, positive as related to what? That is also associated with what may appear to be a global, a geo-global perspective of what is positive. But what is value creating for your life, you see, would probably be more of a definitive.
Now, is this built upon any aspects of sensitivity?
Sensitivity to what?
With any ties to emotion? In other words, you said what you have defined as having value to your life. How do you determine that it's with removing the aspects of positive or negative? How have you determined that it does have value for you?
One of the aspects of Buddhist practice is a concept called the 10 worlds. And another concept is which is called the 3,000 factors. That being said, emotion would probably fall within that realm. But emotion is a phenomenon that human beings experience that is not really a constant. And what I mean by that is I've known individuals who have loved today and hated tomorrow, who can love their parents but maybe go out and do harm to somebody because they may be in desperation for their need or their desire to survive. Love is a fluctuating phenomenon, like so many other emotions. The basic perspective of Buddhism is to develop a life condition that regardless of what you experience, you can create value. A knife in the hands of a chef can create a fabulous meal. A knife in the hands of someone else could destroy a life. Or the chef could do both, create and destroy, depending upon his emotional state of life. A condition of life that its only concern is the creation of value, past love, past any other emotion that you could experience.
Okay.
To constantly be in a state where you want to develop fortune or create value regardless of the state of life that you are experiencing.
Okay, so how would you define value then? What would value mean? What could that?
Once again, attributable to each individual. Okay. What is valuable for you? Your life is your life, my life is mine. For me, if a person was to ask me what would be value creating for my life, I'm a musician. I'm a designer. Okay, I'm a student of architecture. For me, what gives me the highest sense of exhilaration is when I can create a music that can stimulate people emotionally or stimulate them intellectually, but stimulate them to want to appreciate the phenomenon of art. Same thing with architecture. When I can design something that is functional, that a person can live in and feel a certain sense of themselves when they walk through the front door, can feel a certain ease, a certain dignity within themselves to stimulate something that is, I would assume, to be something that would be valuable about human beings.
Okay. Yeah. There are misperceptions about most major faiths. If you could, what would you clear up with regards to a misperception that many have linked to?
Oh, excellent question. When I was a kid growing up, my father was an African Methodist, and my mother was a Southside Chicago Baptist.
Okay.
Okay? My mother did not have a chance to get a formal education. And as I found, excuse me for answering the question in a roundabout way.
No.
My mom did not have the opportunity to a formal education. I could not quite figure out why. And I think as I grew older and had the opportunity to talk to some of the people in my family on my mother's side, I could see that a lot of it was attributed to some specific psychological things, phenomenon, also biological, which I think that everybody on this planet gets through heredity. What's the word?
Genes or something?
Genes would probably be a good word. And she had a propensity to have low vitamin B.
I see.
And low vitamin K. And so consequently, I think it affected her ability to really strive to be academically sufficient. And I think probably nowadays you would probably call it something like attention deficit. Learning disabilities, which of course nowadays through research, in science, we come to realize, but back then people didn't know what the heck it was. And probably didn't even take out the time to even investigate it or just considered you to be slow or whatever. My dad was a very educated man, very intellectual, very cerebral. So when we would go to the Methodist church, it was a very, I would say, an experience that was very European. Okay. When we went to the church that my mom went to, it was the very black experience in the ghetto, Bible thumping, Holy Ghost feeling type of experience.
Okay.
That being said, I can recall when I was a kid having very, very bad nightmares because a lot of times when we were kids, our mom used to tell us stories about going to hell and burning in hell.
I see.
If we didn't do the right thing.